Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's New Features webinar for November 2024. We're excited to showcase all of the new and innovative features that we've released this past month. We'll give everyone a few more minutes to join, and then we'll kick things off with an introduction and an overview of today's agenda. If you haven't already, feel free to roam the room. I know some of you have been here for a while. We'd also love to learn a bit more about who's joining us today, so please share in the chat where you're tuning in from and what industries you're working in. We always enjoy seeing where everyone is connecting from. I'll read off some of those here. Nice. Okay. Now moving right along. All right. My name is Tamar, and I am a Customer Experience Manager here at monday.com. I'm also joined today by my wonderful colleagues, Mia and Vera, who will be helping out with today's webinar and answering your questions in real time. Thank you, Mia and Vera, for supporting me today. If this is your first time attending our New Features webinar, or if it's been a while, you may notice things look a little different. I'd like to welcome you to the Monday Mansion, our brand new experience for watching our monthly New Features webinars. The Monday Mansion is our way of bringing a fresh, interactive approach to online events. It's designed to help companies like yours connect with their audience in a fun and engaging way. I hope you and your llama have had a chance to wander around and explore the different booths and galleries showcasing today's webinar. If you haven't had the chance yet, feel free to check them out during or after my presentation. Now, we'd love to hear your thoughts during or after the webinar. You can share your feedback by visiting the feedback booth or by filling out the form we'll send out in the next few days. And if you need to step away at any point, no worries. This session is being recorded and you'll be able to watch it again anytime. It's going to be available on the Monday Academy starting next week. Today's session is going to be split into two parts. First, we'll explore our new features in action, and then we'll open it up for a live Q&A to dive deeper into your questions. If anything I covered today sparks a question, feel free to drop it in the Q&A channel. Mia and Vera will be there to assist you. You can access the Q&A by clicking the chat icon in the top left corner of the Mansion screen. Once you click on the chat icon, you'll see three channels. The first is room chat, where you can mingle and chat with other attendees. The second is technical support in case you're running into any issues with the Monday Mansion experience. And the third is QA, which is going to be the place to ask questions specifically related to today's presentation. Mia, Vera, and I are going to do our best to get to as many questions as we can, either through the chat or live in the second part of the webinar. That said, there are a lot of us in attendance today, so if we don't get to your specific question, feel free to check out our user community at community.monday.com. It's possible somebody else has already asked your question there. Or, of course, reach out to the support team via live chat. We're available 24/7. You can always reach us. Before we dive in, I'm going to share a quick overview of our agenda. All right, now we have some really exciting features to cover today. We have our timeline column revamp under our board features. We have an import from Excel. Import from Excel now supports dropdown and timeline. From Workdocs, we have an enhanced export doc as PDF experience. For monday.ai, we have the ability to use Monday Doc as an input. And for Monday workflows, for our enterprise clients, we have a new timeline column support feature. We have a new trigger when users join the account. We have a new workflow condition block, sub-item status. We have workflows as part of our workspace. And then for Work Canvas, we have the ability to save a canvas as a template, color items by status column, Gantt chart feature, and last but not least, our app of the month, Alison.Ai Creative Intelligence. And let's get started. I'm just going to go ahead and switch my screen. Just bear with me for one moment. All right. Now let's see these features in action on the monday.com platform. Now I'm going to start with you should all see my screen, perfect. For today's use case, we're going to explore our new features through the lens of a fictional data security startup, Epsilon.com. Though some of you are in completely different industries, such as construction, I see we have some people in finance here. The new features and updates are universal and will improve the way that you work with your teams. Now we will start with Epsilon.com's roadmap board, which the developers use to visualize upcoming projects, tasks, and deadlines. It helps the team align on priorities, track progress. I'm just going to open up some of these groups here. Um, the groups represent each quarter, and then each item is going to be each individual epic, which is a large body of work. And we're going to see how these new board features can help them work so much more efficiently. Now, for our first new board feature, we have a new and exciting update to our timeline column. Now, previously, the timeline column experience required you to select the first date. So let's say I wanted to drag a date here, and then you would have to drag to choose the correct timeline. But as a result, it sometimes took several tries to select the correct timeline for your task, and no one has time for that. Now the timeline column has been updated with its very own keyboard accessible input, so we can actually just populate the column, the dates here to populate the timeline, similar to what we have for the date column. Now let's go see what this, oh, sorry. Before we get started with this, I just want to show everyone where you can access this feature. It is going to be released to all accounts soon, but for now it is available from Monday Labs. So just go to your icon on your from your Monday account, and you can activate this from Monday Labs. You're just going to click Timeline Picker. See, I already have it activated, so that's why it's appearing here. Now let's see what this looks like for our product roadmap board. This is where I'm planning out the new features for this quarter and the following 3 quarters. For the last feature of Q4, let's see here. I need to, so I never got around to inputting the timeline column here, and I'm just going to put this in now. So rather than drag my cursor and select the arrows until I get to the timeline end date, I can simply type in the first date using the numeric format. So I'm going to type that in for 31st 4, and then I'm going to carry that to January. Okay. And just like that, I can drag this epic all the way out into the new year seamlessly. This feature will be released to all accounts soon. So if you want to start using it today, just access it from the Monday Labs feature, and you can activate it on your own account. I just want to note that for Monday Labs to work, you need to opt in from your own profile. Our next feature is an enhancement to the Excel import experience. It is now possible to populate both a timeline and a drop-down column via an Excel spreadsheet. If you've ever transferred data from another platform to monday.com, you're probably familiar with the time-consuming process of exporting and then importing columns and then manually converting them within your board. For example, when importing a multi-select column, such as a dropdown, you would need to first bring it in as a status column and then convert it to a dropdown column. Similarly, for start and end date columns from Excel, you would need to import that and then convert it, because we did not have a native option before. Now, this was a common request from our community, and we have listened. Our development team has worked hard to improve this experience, addressing your feedback and making it much smoother. So let's go ahead and see these new features in action. Now, I'm going to go ahead and select my Excel file. I'll import my group of epics. Just 1 minute. I'm going to add this here. Great. Now, I'm going to import this into our roadmap board. I'm going to choose here first name. Just bear with me while I add all these. And as you can see here, it's already populating the columns. I didn't have to go and select them or map anything. The drop-down column is going to go to my drop-down. And then for my timeline start, I'm going to choose timeline start and timeline end. So it's splitting my timeline into 2 separate portions here. I think that's enough for now. Okay, my data is going to be imported. All right, great. It looks just like the rest of my board. I do have an extra one here. And then I can just go ahead and select my additional items and seamlessly move it to my Q4 group. Perfect. And now we've just added these new epics. We have the timeline perfectly in place, as well as all of the drop downs that I had here. That was completely effortless. Now that we've covered the time-saving updates to our board features, let's dive into the latest improvements to work forms. Moving on there, we're going to dive into our mighty improvements to Workdocs. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Workdoc here. And for any of you who have not used our Workdocs feature, It is an easy and flexible way for your team to record ideas about a centralized topic. We receive feedback from users wanting a cleaner export to PDF experience, and I'm happy to share that we've taken this feedback to heart and made some huge improvements. Now let's see what this feature looks like for our tech startup. So Epsilon uses monday.com for internal release notes. These docs are super helpful as they contain links to multiple sources of information, as well as board widgets, some graphics, some lines of code. For example, you can see this all here. And previously, when you would want to export a Workdoc to Excel, some of the columns, some of the graphics may have gotten cut off. But I'm going to show the new update to this feature where we have hopefully solved all of these problems here. Now, bringing this back to our use case, one of our co-founders prefers to read these release notes in PDF format. He travels frequently and likes to catch up on documents while flying, especially when he's disconnected from Wi-Fi. So I'll prepare the release notes for him, and I'm sure he'll be pleased with the clean, updated layout. To do this, I'm going to go ahead and select the 3 dots, choose Export to PDF, and this preview window will pop out. Just takes a few seconds to populate. But while we're here, I just want to point out the new features that we have. Here we have the option to choose the orientation. So you can choose portrait or landscape. You can even decide the page ranges. So if you want to print, if you want to export as a PDF only several pages or only specific pages, you can do this here as well. And we're just going to wait for this to upload. Perfect. So for this use case, if I just want to print, let's say, the first 2 pages, I'm going to decide that. I'm going to choose landscape. And then I'll export my PDF. Now let's see what this looks like. There you go. Seamlessly printed. Nothing was cut off. All right, great. Now let's go back to our Monday board. And for the rest of the team to preview, I'm going to go ahead and upload the PDF file to our roadmap board. We'll get right back here. I'm going to add this to my file column. Perfect. All right. Now this brings us to our next new feature, that our monday.ai now supports Monday Docs as an input. For those who haven't yet explored this powerful new monday.com building block, monday.ai brings artificial intelligence directly into the monday.com platform. All AI tools are developed in-house by the monday.com team, designed to help you work smarter and more efficiently. Now, when you first start using monday.ai, you'll need to request approval from your account admin. I'm just going to open this up here so we can take a look while I'm, for example, extracting information. Okay, great. The account admin will receive an email and will agree to the monday.com the monday.ai terms and conditions. For enterprise users, the process is slightly different. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask in the Q&A. Now let's dive into the exciting new monday.ai feature that makes it easy to extract data directly from a Monday doc. So we can add a release note. We've already added our release notes to the board, and now I've added extract information column. I can use it. I can go about using AI this way, or I can actually just add it into a regular text column. So I'm going to use one text column for new features. And then I'm going to choose another text column here for pain points. Great. I know my colleagues won't have time to read through the entire Monday doc, but I want them to get the key takeaways in a format that's easy to digest from our roadmap release notes. And they'll be able to see this just as a glance. So I've added my file here, new features and the pain points. And now I'm going to just go ahead and extract this information. Okay, so first for the info source, I'm going to choose my release notes doc. And I'm going to choose custom information to extract. And let's choose, sorry, I'm going to actually do this from I'm going to show how this can be done using the autofill with AI. I think this is more helpful because this is going to show you how to do it from a text column. Great. And now I'm going to choose extract information for my info source for release notes, and I will choose custom info. Now I'm just going to type in, let's say, summarize new features. There we go. I got a quick summary on the new features from my doc. Okay. Actually, just going to get rid of this column for now. Okay, and as you can see here, my column was populated. Now let's do the same thing for pain points. I'm going to check autofill with AI. I'll choose extract info. The same information here, custom info, and I'm just going to choose pain points. Okay, I'll click save and apply. All right, perfect. And just like that, my entire file is summarized directly from a Monday doc. This feature has already been released for PDF, so feel free to try this with PDFs as well. And for any new doc that I'm going to add here, it's automatically going to apply. So it will the same AI command is going to apply to any new column. Great. So now my team has everything they need directly here at a glance. Next up, let's talk about one of the most impactful new building blocks for our enterprise customers, Monday workflows. I'm thrilled to share that our development team have enhanced the workflow building capabilities by integrating them. So I'm just going to open up this board by integrating them with our workspace template feature. Before we dive into the details, let me give you a quick refresher on workflows. This is a relatively new building block for our enterprise customers, and it's designed to help automate and streamline processes across your workspace. Monday Workflows is an easy visual way to automate processes across your account. For enterprise users, this feature makes it simple to use automations and integrations to streamline routine tasks across multiple boards within a workspace, significantly boosting efficiency and productivity. Each workflow is made up of blocks that contain triggers, conditions, and actions. So I'm going to choose my condition. I can choose an action, if else, delay. These are all unique to Monday Workflows. Now, for our first new workflow feature, I'm excited to introduce a brand new trigger block, the first ever account level trigger when someone joins the account. I'm going to go ahead and select this here. When a user joins the account. Now, the trigger opens up a world of possibilities across a platform, and it's incredibly versatile. Now, whenever a new user joins your account, you can automatically initiate a workflow tailored to their role or set it to trigger for any system role within your team. Whether you're onboarding new hires or launching role-specific processes, this trigger ensures that your workflows start at exactly the right moment. So I'm going to go ahead and choose member. Okay, and inside the sidebar menu is appearing, prompting me to choose which role that I'm applying for. Next, I want to automate adding the new employee to our organization board as a new item. So I'm going to choose add item. I'm going to choose my organization chart board. I'll put them in the employee group. And then I can pull in from the user data from the previous step. I'm going to pull in their name. All right, I can add when they join the company. I'm going to make that the dynamic today. For the phone column, sorry, I can insert that here as well. So I have all of their contact information instantly. And then email. Great. And for the next step, I'm going to choose to notify the IT team. I'm going to choose, hey team, name, just joined, Epsilon. Okay. And I'm going to choose to notify my IT team. Great. Okay, now the IT team is up to speed and they can ensure that the new employee has all of their workstation and credentials set up. Now, this brings us to our next new feature for workflows. That is the ability to save a workspace as part of a template. To demonstrate this, I'm actually going to move our new workflow to a different workspace. Let's move it to onboarding. Okay, we'll move it here. All right. And then from this workspace, HR workspace template. So I've saved this workspace as a template, and I can use this for additional, any department can now use this workspace template to onboard new employees. Great, let's move on to our next new feature. Now, instead of each department creating its own workflow from scratch, we can now save this entire workspace as a template. And this is going to allow these solutions for the workflows to be embedded within the template. I just wanted to mention here that we have gotten a lot of feedback about templatizing workflows, and our developers have taken this, the whole templatization to heart. Now we're on a roll with workflow automation, so let's move on to the third new feature. If you spent time exploring the Automation Center, you may be familiar with the limitations of the timeline column, particularly when it comes to combining two date columns for start and end date. I'm excited to share that Monday Workflows now supports timeline column values, making it possible to populate a timeline based on any date value. I'm going to jump back to our previous board. Let's see this from our bugs queue. Now, the developers at Epsilon.com use this board to manage bug reports. When a bug is reported, an item is created on this board, which automatically sets a creation date or report date and a due date based on the priority. While this is helpful from the board view, they want to be able to visualize the work ahead from a Gantt view. And now with the due date alone, they aren't able to see the number of days that they need to complete each fix or to adjust the number of days that it will take. And if you see this from the settings, if we want to choose both the due date and the report date, we end up with both. And it duplicates the item here. And this isn't the experience that that the developers want for this flow. So now to help the bugs team, we're going more efficiently we're going to set up a timeline creation flow. So we want to make sure that these dates end up in this timeline. Now let's go over and add a new workflow. Okay, we're going to call this bugs queue. Let's give it a second. Great. Now we're going to trigger this workflow based on a status change. So let's start by selecting this from the menu here. When status changes to something, I'm going to choose my bugs queue board. I'm going to choose the status, and then I'm going to choose fixing. Perfect. Next, we're going to add the get item data block. Okay, get item data. I'm going to choose the item, and then I'm going to choose for an action to change column value. Perfect. For the column, I'm going to choose the timeline. And for the value, I'm going to choose the report date for the start date, and I'm going to choose the due date for the end date. Okay, great. Now the workflow is up and running. Now let's go ahead and test this out on our bugs board. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and change the status here to fixing. And just like that, our timeline has been updated. And you can even do this retroactively using batch action. So if I want this to apply to my whole board, we can fill in all of these timelines at once. I'm just going to click fixing and watch the magic happen. Yes. Love it when automations kick in. Okay, great. For any of my items that had the dates filled in have now been updated with a timeline. And then if I go over to my Gantt view and adjust the settings here, I now have a fully functional timeline. And I can make any changes and really visualize where my tasks are being held. And I can even set up dependencies here as well. Perfect. Now, moving on to our last new feature for workflows, we have a brand new condition block for sub-items. I'm just going to speak on this briefly today because we are running a little behind, but I'm just going to pull this in here. Now, previously, if you wanted to change a status based on sub-item status, you had to use a pre-made recipe from the template center. And you could only use one status label. This required multiple automations to run. But now, in our use case, I want to apply this to our sprint retrospectives board. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to just explain this recipe that I set up. We have when date arrives, I'm choosing if all sub items have the status of something. Now the status that I'm choosing here is done or working on it. Now in this case, if it's done or working on it, I know that it's important. So by that due date, I'm going to choose the if then option. For yes, I'm choosing to create an item in our sprints board. And for no, I'm just going to move it to the dismiss group, because if they decided that they didn't want to work on this specific issue, it's just going to be dismissed and maybe it will show up later on. Now this sub-item condition block is really part of bringing sub-items more involved with automations. Okay, great. Now let's move on to our next feature. So now that we've explored workflows, let's head over to our new Work Canvas project. Now we can navigate to Work Canvas directly from the switchers I just showed you, just like you would for any other product. And this link will take you directly to the Work Canvas homepage. Now, before I get to the new features, I'd like to give you a quick overview of Work Canvas, as many of you may not be familiar with this recently released product. It is a versatile digital whiteboard that seamlessly integrates with your monday.com account. If you are like me and enjoy working creatively, you will find Work Canvas not only intuitive, but fun. Whether working individually or as a team, you can create multiple canvases for designing workflow charts, building mind maps, or providing visuals for tasks. You can see all these options here. You can either start from scratch or utilize one of our many pre-made templates to suit your needs. And this brings us to our first new feature from Work Canvas, the ability to create your own template. Let's see how helpful this can be to the Epsilon.com product team. So here, if I want to go ahead and create a very simple flowchart to conceptualize a single item on Epsilon's roadmap. So I'm going to open up a blank canvas. I just selected new canvas. All right, great. And by selecting the monday.com icon at the bottom of the menu bar, I can integrate with our roadmap board and select the items that I want to add. So I'm going to go ahead and select import items. I'm going to type in roadmap. Oh, wrong one. Great. And import my items. And then I'm just going to go ahead and type in regression. I'll add this to my canvas. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and add, I can add this to a timeline. I'll just change the process here. You have multiple features that you can add here. So for example, if I want to add my flow chart, it will prepare this template for me. Let me just zoom out. Okay. Great. Now let's go back to our homepage. I'll show this with a pre-made one. And then I can choose to save it as a template or save it as a link. This is our brand new feature here. Now moving back to Work Canvas homepage, I want to show us our second new feature that we have for Work Canvas, which is Gantt charts. Now, the new Gantt chart feature in Work Canvas, you can access it from the template center. So let's go over to the template library, select Gantt chart. And here you have the option to preview any template as well. I'm going to select Use Template. All right, just one moment. Okay. The new Gantt chart feature in WorkCanvas is designed to solve the common problem of visualizing project timelines and task dependencies in a clear, efficient way. With this tool, you can easily drag and drop tasks, create lanes and sublanes here in a clear, efficient way. Now, if you love working with Gantt charts, but you want more flexibility when it comes to designing them, this feature is for you. So you can just choose your date range. You click here. You can choose weeks, days, months. You can add additional rows and columns. And you can even integrate your Monday board and add specific tasks here for Monday as well. Now, so all you would need to do if you want to make any changes to your tasks, you get this pop-out, this like beautiful pop-out window here. You can let's just like pull in some of our items from our previous board. You can add a description. You can add a assignee from your Monday account, and any specific tags here as well. Similar to what you can do on Monday, it makes adding dependencies effortless as well. So if you would just create this here, similar to any other feature that we have. Okay, now moving on to our final Canvas feature, I'm excited to introduce the ability to color items in your Canvas based on the status of a status column in your Monday board. To demonstrate this, let's head over to our template library. We'll come back here. I'm going to go to the template library and go to Sync Templates. And we're going to add our org chart. Now I'm going to provide some additional context when it comes to Sync Templates. This allows you to automatically pull data from a monday.com board and seamlessly populate a visual org chart on your Canvas. This functionality makes it effortless to visualize your team structure, ensuring everything is kept in sync and up to date. Now, returning to our use case, let's head back to our Monday account. I'm going to take us to our org chart. It's right here. Now, Epsilon.com has multiple departments and levels of hierarchy across 3 different offices. Let's create an organization chart to help us map out and visualize the entire company in a single cohesive canvas. A quick note, there are a few mandatory fields that must be included in your board in order to set up the smart org correctly. We have employee name. This will serve as the title for each individual item, direct manager, and position. Now, before we dive into the new feature, let's start by adding our smart org chart template to the canvas. We're going to do this from here. And I'm going to go ahead and select the org chart and then import board data. I will choose here the manager. We can just do this, okay. Position. All right, I'll choose the CEO. And then I can click and add all of the employees from my org chart. Okay, we'll just move this here. Great. Now you have the option here to select what information you want to see and edit that accordingly. Now let's open up, I'll choose the selection tool. And here you see the color wheel on the bottom. This will allow you to choose to color by location like we want to in our case. Perfect. So now you can see here, I see that New York is the yellow option, and it looks like we can hire some more employees in the New York offices. And I want to just add a quick note. The Smart Org Chart does not have a two-way sync with your monday.com board, meaning that the information in the chart cannot be edited directly within WorkCanvas. If you want to make updates, you would have to just switch back to your Monday board and make the updates there. But this is for this specific chart. Okay, great. Now, moving on here. Now we're going to move on to our last feature. I'm going to take us back to my slides, sorry. Bear with me, for our app of the month, Alison.Ai Creative. Now, for those of you who may not know, our apps marketplace offers a diverse selection of apps to enhance the functionality of monday.com. These apps are created by reliable and vetted third-party developers, as well as our own Monday team. Alison.Ai Creative Intelligence is an app that helps marketing teams craft, analyze, and optimize their content directly within monday.com. Admins can easily add this app to their workspaces, while members will need to request permission to use it. Once it's integrated, the app uses data-driven insights to elevate your creative strategy, allowing you to create more impactful marketing campaigns, all without leaving the platform. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take a second to show you their video so that we can move on to our Q&A. Just bear with me. All right, let's hope this just hit play. Okay, great. So if you want to check out Alison.Ai, make sure to head over to our template center. Sorry, not our, I don't want to play it again. Let's move on to the next. Okay, great. Now the moment that we've been waiting for, the Q&A. I'm just going to take a 3-minute break to go over the questions that came in. Thank you all for sharing. And if you didn't have the chance yet to put your questions in, please take a moment now to just drop them in the Q&A box. And then I'm going to work with Mia and Vera, and we're going to answer some of your questions live. And again, if we don't get to your question, please reach out to support. We are here for you 24/7, as I mentioned. So you are always welcome to reach out. Again, just take a 3-minute break, grab some water, go explore the room, do some jumping jacks, whatever you want. Okay, thank you everybody for waiting. We're just going through some of your questions, all really great questions. So I'm going to start with a lot of you had asked about, which is, I should have clarified in the beginning. You can see here that I'm using a dev workflow. This is actually not our dev product. Our dev product would be separate. This is our dev product. As you can see, there's different built-in features here, like the sprint buttons. Many different integrations that we don't have on regular work management. But within work management, you do have a lot of templates that you could get started with and customize for yourself across multiple use cases. So if I go ahead to the template center under work management, you'll see here we have ones for software development, which is like what I had used. We have ones for CRM. You can find a lot of different templates here to get started on, even if you don't have the CRM product. And the same is true if you have the CRM product and you want to get started with a template. You can access these basic templates as well. We love to save you time, and this is a great way to get started and to kind of get an idea of how you want to design your use case. And then I want to move on to another question that we had about the AI buttons. So I'm going to move over back to our roadmap board. So we have there are different parts of the platform, of like a board where you would be able to access AI. So one option is to actually add a column to start the automation. The AI powered column. You can do it from here, or you could use a pre-existing column and apply AI logic. So I wanted to save some space on my board, so I chose to do it this way, but you can do it in either case. And then all you would have to do is either click the AI little sparkle over here, click on the 3 dots, and then autofill with AI, and you'll see if it's active or not. And you can always turn it off. And once you apply the AI to these columns, it's going to apply to any new doc that you upload. So even if I uploaded, to this column. It will continue to update. Now, I also wanted to mention that if you don't have AI on your account, you can reach out to support, and we would be happy to help you throughout this process. Okay, let's move on to, I see we had a question about workflows. I'm going to go over to my, okay, for the sub-item condition, for example. So for here, you could choose different triggers. You could choose to get the item data from the sub-item here as well. But I chose a very basic flow. So on one, I was working off of one board, and then my item was going to go to my sprint board, if yes, and if no, it was going to remain on the same board. I just wanted to clarify that. We had a question there. So I saw someone wrote, how do you set up dependencies in the project management board with the new template? So you want to see on the work canvas. Okay, let's head over to our Gantt chart so I can show you this here. Okay, I'm just going to choose this one, let's say. Great. Now to set dependencies here, I'm just going to zoom in. Let's pull this task here to make it more visible. You're just going to click on the little plus and then add it's a very creative and visual way to create your own dependencies. So you wouldn't have to do this from a board. All I have to do is create a line. And then I can even add, like anytime I want to add an additional task, it can be here. I can create sublanes, so I can use sub-dependencies. I can add additional rows. And here is an example of using a Monday item inside my board. I can just use this instead of the task block. Sorry if it's coming out a little bit blurry. But this is how you would be able to set up dependencies. And while I'm here, I'm back in Work Canvas. I do want to show something that we had another question on, which was about the smart org chart. Let's pull this in here. Okay, great. Now, someone had asked if you have two managers, what that would look like. So I think that would be a fun thing to demonstrate. We can go ahead and give that a try. So let's say, for example, let's say I am Shear's manager and Yair is Shear's manager as well. I will have to update this on my board, but I want to see what this is going to look like if we make this change. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add, let's say, a second manager. It says an automation was complete. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Here you see 7 total, 2 direct reports. It looks like Shear was knocked off. So no, I don't think that the smart org chart supports 2 managers just yet. Okay. Now someone had asked about Monday Labs, that if you activate a feature and you implement it on a public board. This is a great question. Will other users not be able to see those fields, or they just can't use those fields in their own boards? So if you activate something in Monday Labs, it means that you have access to that feature. But anyone else can see the changes are going to be consistent. So for example, from the roadmap board, if I activated this feature on my own, and the rest of the members of this board didn't activate the feature, they're going to have the option to select the timeline like this, and they just won't see this option, but they will see any changes that I make. The changes that are being made to the board, so it will be for across the entire team. And when it comes to the Monday labs, again, this needs to be done for each person and not across the account, but any of the changes will be reflected for everybody. Someone asked if this can be done with the Gantt dependencies, if this can be done without WorkCanvas. But no, the way that you would draw the dependencies in WorkCanvas, we'll get back to the Gantt chart. Okay. So this feature of just seamlessly drawing your dependencies, this is only possible within WorkCanvas. We don't have this in a regular Monday board. And you know, Jenna, one of the really special things about WorkCanvas is just how flexible it is. So you don't need to rely on a board to you know, get things done, to have specific features, to customize your colors. You can do this all on just using the charts and using your drawing board. It gives you a lot of flexibility and different options to choose from. Okay, now I want to go through a few more of these questions. 1 minute. Okay, somebody else had asked if it's possible to use a formula column in workflows. This is still not supported, but we are continuously looking to add more features to WorkCanvas. Okay, just pulling up some more questions. Okay, great. Now, if you want to be able to to use regular dependencies on your Monday board, I can do that. And I can apply this to the workflow just to show you what this would look like. I'm just going to add my dependency column to the right. Okay. I'm going to connect it to my timeline. And I can choose between strict or flexible dependencies. Now, flexible dependencies means that they're only going to move if they're overlapping. And strict is going to allow me to move all of the dates in tandem. So I'm going to choose strict dependencies here. Perfect. Let's save that. Okay, timeline. Oh, looks like I'm having a bug. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to refresh my page. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. Let's just add a few more timelines here so we can get through to that. There we go. All right, we'll set up some of these dependencies. I'll just bear with me while I set this up. Okay. Now I'm going to go over to my Gantt view. All right, and let's just make this look a little cleaner. Great. So as you can see here, these lines indicate that they're a dependency and they're going to move with each other, but I'm not able to draw dependencies here as I can with WorkCanvas. So this is a major difference, that you don't have that flexibility. This is a different way of working where the changes need to be made directly to the board. So if I want to create any dependencies here, I'm going to need to select them from my board. And then that will be reflected in my Gantt chart. And okay, great. Now I want to move on to a few other questions. Someone had asked about connecting boards. They saw that my my roadmap board is connected to my my sprints board. So I'm going to just show how this workflows, how I have this set up here. So each of my individual epics are connected to the sprints that make up this entire board. So the smaller parts are on my sprint board. And whenever I have an automation set up here to automatically connect it, so I have here, I'm going to go ahead and set that up here. Let's choose when status changes to ready to start. I want to create item in board and connect boards, and then I can set up this automation to automatically connect it here. And another option that I can do is I can choose to have a match automation. So if I don't want to actually create it, I just want to connect it. I'm going to go ahead and set this up from our template center. It won't be a custom automation, but I'm going to choose here match when column changes. I want to connect the item where this column matches another column. So my other board is going to be my roadmap board. Okay, and I'm going to add a new matched item. And then I'm going to choose, let's say, when status changes. I'm going to connect to my epic column. And then I'm going to align with the specifics here. So if I have, let's say, the same task description, or if I have the same status, or if they have an identical name, then this will automatically update it. Perfect. Okay. Now, if anyone else wants to bring in some more questions. Okay. Now I see we have some more coming in about, yeah, so when it comes to importing from Excel, about the drop-down column, now you're going to want to make sure that your Excel doc has the words separated by a column or quotes. So for example, here, when I imported these items from Excel, these specific labels for each tier that this feature is going to apply to, the Excel doc had quotes or commas separating it, and that's how it knew to put it back into a drop-down. Okay. Now I guess this is the end of our webinar. So thank you all for coming. It was great to show you all of our amazing new features, and you can always reach out to us and support and ask any questions that you might have. And take your time to explore around the room, check out some more of the features, and you will all be getting an email with a survey. So in the next few days, along with a recording of the webinar, if you'd like to watch it again. We'd greatly appreciate your feedback. It really helps us improve these webinars and better serve you in the future. Once again, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. It's night here in Tel Aviv, but so you're starting the day in the US and wherever you're tuning in from. And well, have a wonderful day. Bye.